If there was one word to describe Saskatoon, I would say beautiful. Saskatchewan is like a hidden gem. Saskatoon in itself is right on the South Saskatchewan riverbanks, and we have so many people who don't even know about this city, but it's very, very common when you have somebody that visits Saskatoon, especially in the summer, and they say how beautiful it is, as well as how nice the people are. My name is Michael Linklater. I'm a former 3x3 basketball national team member. I'm from Thunderchild First Nation, and I am also a community member here in Saskatoon. So when I was young, my home court was at St. Mary's Community School. It was the elementary I attended, but we had a brand new court that was built, and it's what actually inspired me to pick up the basketball. And I remember sneaking out of my parents' house late at night to go play basketball. Us as former players, it's our responsibility to make sure that we give back. In terms of the knowledge that we've acquired in playing at a very high level, we don't have too many high-level coaches here because we don't have a huge population. So for those who have played at a high level, it's very important for those to make sure they give back and recycle that information.
My name is Paige Crozon. I play for Team Canada 3x3, and we just competed in the 2024 Paris Olympics, and I'm also the manager of the Living Skies Indigenous Basketball League. So my home court is back in my home community in Humboldt. It's pavement, and it's right outside my elementary school that I went to. I remember playing when there's so many mosquitoes, but refusing to go home or having to shovel snow off of the court in order to play, but just the dedication that it took. But I just loved it so much. Even though I was a kid from a small town, I was getting such amazing coaching. They just coached me because, they loved basketball, but they were great basketball minds, and they were always in the running to win national championships, but they were even better people. That's something that's so unique and special to Saskatchewan. It's just the values that people carry, the love that they have for the community, how they want to see the youth grow and thrive. And that was something that was always instilled in me. So Mike Tanton and Mason Medinsky, they are the founders of the Living Skies Indigenous Basketball League, and they had this dream for 20 years and this vision of the league, and it's finally coming to fruition.
Hi, my name is Mike Tanton, and I am from Treaty 6 territory, and I am one of the co-founders of the Living Skies Indigenous Basketball League. When we thought about Living Skies and how we wanted it to roll out, we thought about what was missing when we were kids. What would we want to see happen, and how do we put the athlete as the center and the focus of what it is that we wanted to create? And so using that ideology helped us to build out the league that we wanted to have, the structure that we wanted to have it in, as well as the workshops that we have, and some of those other things that are culturally relevant are those add-on pieces that just make it so that the kids feel a part of something bigger. We're working together to make Saskatoon a more inclusive place, a more engaging place, and a place that has more and more opportunities for everybody.
I think first and foremost, basketball is an accessible sport. If you have a ball, you can find an outdoor court and you can play, and the Buckets and Borders are doing amazing work making these beautiful courts that are so appealing for youth to go and participate at.
Hi, I'm Ian Patterson. I'm Director of Operations with Buckets and Borders. Grew up in Regina, Saskatchewan, but now I live in Saskatoon. My home court would be the street in front of my house. My dad welded up a stand for the basketball hoop, and me and my brothers played there till the streetlights came on. Saskatoon, it's got a really strong grassroots basketball ecosystem. Things like where we're in right now, this Bedford Road gym has lots of basketball memories through Brit. It's been going on since late 60s. Everyone buys in, the school community, but I just remember the energy and how good the basketball was. It was an elevated experience as a high school player that you don't get very often in lots of tournaments, so Brit is special. Then you have organizations like the Rattlers. Through every level, it's strong, and it's lively, and something for the city to be proud of. Barriers to basketball in Saskatchewan, I would say, is just accessibility. Getting court time, finding teams to play on. Team sports are getting more and more expensive, so At Buckets and Borders, we focus on revitalizing and building outdoor courts so that those barriers are low or non-existent. We take pride in allowing anybody to come play at the courts that we build or work on, so that's Buckets and Borders' biggest mission.
When I was growing up, I had access to so many activities. I had representation, and my parents were able to afford to put me into sports and to drive me to all of my activities. Not every kid or individual has that same privilege, and how can we close that gap so more kids can have access to sport and the reconciliation and conversations and connections and relationships that sport can build?
I see the game of basketball being utilized more and more as our tool for reconciliation and to bridge friendships and relationships. It's a key piece to what we've always done, which is why we open up the league to any and everybody. If we can play together, we can live together.
If I could describe Saskatoon in one word, I would call it home.
If I was to describe Saskatchewan in one word, I would just say home.
The biggest thing that comes to me is home.
Not only because it's where my family is, it's the way people treat each other here.
There's just so many people that have been a part of my journey, my basketball journey, but also just me as a person.
When you can work with people and progress not just your own ideas, but theirs also, that's what home is.
What I envision for Saskatoon in the future is events like we're seeing today. Major events where players, where athletes, where young kids can see athletes at the highest level, because it's going to give them the opportunity to aspire to be one of those guys on the court, to be one of the girls that come and to be playing at the highest level. And so what I envision for Saskatoon for basketball is to see more large events with the highest caliber of players coming here to inspire those next generations.
Canada Basketball specifically does such a wonderful job of inspiring the youth by just being present. They show up whenever there's an opportunity and really just showcase their buy-in to the game of basketball. That's been a really big help for groups like us at Buckets and Borders to have that support of Canada Basketball.